Tuesday morning, last Tuesday, the United States went forward with its first federal execution since 2003. Now, Nash, what's the difference between like a federal execution and this, or is every execution a federal execution? Because I don't think it's the first time we put someone to death since 2003.
You're held in a federal prison.
Okay,
so you committed felonies.
Okay, federal crime. The move comes after the Supreme Court rejected a last-minute injunction filed by the federal judge to stop the execution, which we'll talk about. The judge argued that the legal challenges needed to play in the court to determine if the federal lethal injection, which is a drug called
pentobarbital,
amount to cruel and unusual punishment, which we will also talk about the idea of cruel and unusual punishment, thus violating the Constitution. According to the injunction, the evidence presented that the court showed the drug injection risk causing the feeling of drowning or asphyxiation. Asphyxiation. So is that choking?
Yeah.
All right. So, Nash, let's give it a hashtag history of the death penalty in the U.S.
How do they know?
Yeah, how would they know? Oh, maybe because if it's like if they had a botched attempt.
Oh, if that's like serum 1 and then serum 2.
Well, no. That's the previous one. I think now they're moving towards a 1-shot injection. Because it used to be 3. I think now it's down to 1. In my research, I think I read something like that. They're changing it to just 1 injection of that new drug, whatever.
Pentobarbital.
Yeah. Whereas previously it was 3, which I'm going to talk about how fucked up those 3 shots are. So first, history of the death penalty, Nash.
Oh, you want me to do it?
History of the death penalty.
I mean, in the world?
In the U.S.
Okay. Kind of an iffy topic. You really didn't see anything outlawing the death penalty till the mid-1800s. Like, I want to say, 1840s. And then, it was, one state. It was, Michigan or, Wisconsin who was yeah, we're not about it. And that's pretty much, I think it was Wisconsin who, once they did it, they're the only one or one of the very few states that once they did it, they stuck by it to this day. Because then you see states like Michigan, North Dakota, Delaware, Rhode Island, New York, Maine, other states that would implement it. Tennessee even, they would implement limited use or no use at all, and then they'd go back on it later down the line, and then they'd change it or keep it the same. So it's you can sort of see in the U.S. it's kind of even historically, not even just in modern times, it's kind of been a split decision thing. It hasn't been a very consistent ideology across the board for any really one state, except maybe except Wisconsin. I know Hawaii and Alaska both got rid of it immediately. But right now we actually have an exact 50-50 split in states that allow the death penalty. There are 25 that allow it. There are 23 that don't allow it. And no, there are 22 that don't allow it. And then there are 3 that are on the governors have all said, there are 3 states that have said the governors won't allow executions to happen while they're in office.
So that means it's legal, but the governor won't go through with it.
It's legal, but the governor is the one who has
to sign off on it, right?
Won't do that. So at the moment, it's not going to happen. Nobody's going to die of the death. Nobody's is going to and none of the death row inmates are going to actually die during their seats in office.
Right. Okay.
So it's straight up 50-50. So it's not a universally hated or loved policy. And historically, it's been up in the air, too.
It is such a controversial topic. And it's one I go back and forth on, whether I agree with the death penalty. Nash, what do you think?
I think that there are some people that either at their core, genetically or chemically, how they are, they can never do anything to be beneficial like that. They will have criminal behaviors that will negatively impact everybody. But I think that number is so astronomically low that they have to do some pretty crazy things for that to actually kill them. I think 99.9% of people, of the population, are undeserving of the death penalty.
Yeah. I mean, my thing really is that it's a state by state issue, and it's a case by case issue. I think this is definitely something that's up to different states, and it needs to be like cut and dry, 100%. This person did the crime without a shadow of a doubt. Nothing, 100% for extreme cases only. So like a terrorism crime, like the Boston bomber. I think the death penalty was up in the air for that person. I think someone like that, yeah, he can get a death penalty. Serial rapists, especially with kids, yeah, probably. You mentioned espionage.
Yeah, mine are pretty much espionage, sexual assault people, like extreme cases of sexual assault where there straight up like is no hope for them to be reformed in any way. Terrorists, maybe that's a very difficult thing to judge.
Well, I mean, because you can do domestic terrorism, right? And that gets really tricky. But if it's like a foreign terrorist,
Yeah,
and we capture them,
yeah. And I mean, either way, because sometimes it's just like somebody did that because, like, foreign terrorism especially, I feel like it's somebody did that because of an amount of brainwashing. So it's a matter of rehabilitating them to sort of be an independent-minded person rather than you. I don't think
brainwash them back.
No, it's not brainwashing them back. It's removing everything that's in the way of that, because brainwashing is a set sort of code that is forced upon you. Like, that is an absolute thing, and there aren't very many absolutes in life or in the world. So it's like, if you are brainwashed to mass murder or mass rape,
Yeah.
I think you can probably be educated or reformed for that to not be the case, just because you clearly lack a lot of understanding about a lot of things. Like, you clearly have a very narrow window of how you perceive the world around you that doesn't really account for everything.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point.